After spending decades in the workforce, I watched something bring retirees back to work over and over again. They didn't come back because they needed the paycheck. They came back because they lost their sense of purpose. Within a year of retiring, many had no answer to the question, who am I without this job? Or maybe even a harder question, who will I be on Monday morning when nobody needs me at work anymore? And if that question just made your stomach drop a little bit, me too, because most of us never see this coming. We plan for everything else. We just don't plan for this. And honestly, I should be one of those people. If my husband had to go into the office on the weekend, I jumped at the opportunity to go with him every single time. My work and my happiness were practically intertwined, which means I was exactly the kind of person everyone would expect right back at the desk 6 months after retirement. But that's not going to happen, I promise. And here's why. I accidentally did something in the months leading up to my retirement that I think changed everything. It had nothing to do with money. I didn't even realize I was doing it at the time. Because months before I retired, I accidentally started building a new identity outside of my job. Once Steve and I locked in the plan to travel full-time in retirement, I got busy with the logistics. I enjoyed that work because it was concrete, it was problem solving, but it was never ever going to replace the feeling I had on the job. And it certainly wasn't going to be the thing I was most excited about during my day. A full calendar is not the same as a sense of purpose. Travel would tell me where I'd be, not who I'd be. And that difference kept nagging at me. Steve already had hobbies. He knew what he would do when he would be spending time when we're not out exploring. I, on the other hand, not a single clue. We assume we'll discover hobbies after retirement, but for some of us, work became our entire world, our complete social circle. And if that's you, if you genuinely can't name what you would replace it with, that's not a character flaw. That was me. But here's what I figured out. You don't have to have the answer yet. You just have to start looking. And the best time to start looking is before you actually need the answer. I had to find my own passion project. So I looked at what I did in my job. In my job, I became the lead for providing front-end support for a major application. Despite having zero formal computer training, I just loved digging into problems, figuring things out. Sharing my knowledge was the highlight of my day. I couldn't wait to make someone else just as excited about using the application as I was. That support role, that creative outlet, that gave me the energy. When I wasn't working, nothing else really filled that space. I knew that was the energy I wanted to be able to replace once I retired. So I ended up taking a course about starting a YouTube channel for people over 40. I had already downloaded and decided to use the video editing software DaVinci Resolve, but then I opened it. I was not prepared for that application. It was completely overwhelming. There was nothing about video editing that made sense to me. But here's the thing about me. I don't let a lack of knowledge stop me from anything. It's how I learned the software application I supported at work. So I did the same thing with video editing. I totally jumped into the deep end and got busy figuring it out. And before I knew it, just something clicked. Not the software, but something bigger. I could build something from scratch. I could share our story of slow travel online. I could stay connected with family after we left in a really creative way. I could continue to help others in a small way, and I could do it from anywhere in the world. And here's what caught me off guard. It wasn't just something to do. It was starting to answer that question, that Monday morning one. And I hadn't even realized I was even asking it. I had found something I genuinely wanted to learn, improve at, and spend time on. It brought me the same joy and energy I got from helping people at work. I had found my next identity while I was still collecting a paycheck. For months, I kept it quiet because every content creator says, don't tell anybody about your channel. So I didn't. I'd go to work, do my job, come home, and disappear into editing tutorials. My mind wasn't only on the next software problem at the office anymore. It was on the next video, the next story, the next thing I wanted to learn. Looking back, I think this was the real gift. I didn't wait until retirement to figure out what came next. I started building it while I still had the safety net of a paycheck. That meant I could experiment without pressure. But the more I learned, the more excited I became. I was still good at my job. I still cared deeply, but it no longer energized me the way it once had, because I had something waiting for me at home that I was even more excited about. Then, right before retirement, I stopped caring about the whole secrecy thing. I thought, if telling people slows down my channel growth, that's fine. I'm not building this channel for money. I'm building it because I genuinely love it. So on my last day, instead of waiting for the traditional retirement send-off, I walked around the office handing out treats as a retirement gift from me. Included was information about my website and our YouTube channel. If people wanted to follow us, they could. It sort of shocked people because normally it's the office that gives the gifts to the retiree. I totally flipped the script and I loved every minute of it because I wasn't walking away from something. I was walking towards something, and I wanted them to know what it was. And I invited them to join me on the journey. Even while I was leaving, people asked whether I'd consider coming back. Always said I'd leave the door open, but I knew where my heart was taking me. I used to joke, I am not going to fail at retirement and end up back at work because I was bored. But it wasn't really a joke. That could have been me. That could have been my reality. Instead, I spent the final months of my career building something new. I became more energized by what waited at home than what waited at my desk. That's not burnout, that's clarity. That's building a new happy place. But here's the thing that nobody tells you. Retirement doesn't create an identity crisis. It reveals one that was already quietly sitting there. Your job was just covering it up. And the question doesn't wait for you to be ready. It just shows up one Monday morning and you either have an answer or you don't. So here's what I tell you if retirement is somewhere on your horizon, whether that's 2 years away or 10, start now. Before you quit, before the paperwork, before the goodbye party. And here's the simple test. If someone took your job tomorrow and asked, what excites you enough to spend 20 hours a week doing it? Would you have an answer? If yes, great. Start making time for it now. If not, now is the exact right time to start looking. Your post-retirement identity doesn't need to be a YouTube channel. It could be volunteering, consulting, maybe building furniture, learning an instrument, teaching, writing, mentoring. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you're running towards something, not simply running away from work. Try things while you still have a 9 to 5. If the first idea doesn't stick, try another. The goal isn't to find the perfect thing immediately. The goal is to start filling the hole before the hole appears. I got lucky. I found my next passion project early. You can start building yours tomorrow. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What made you feel most alive in your career? And what do you think might replace that when work is no longer part of your life? There is no wrong answer, and honestly, reading your answers just might help someone else figure out their own. If you're interested in retirement, slow travel, and figuring out what comes next, hit that subscribe button and follow along. We're making plenty of mistakes as we go, but maybe together we can be a little better prepared. See you in the next adventure, and don't forget to check out this next video. Stop recording. Okay. Don't stop. Just keep going. Love it. Oh my God. Would you stop? Oh my God. I'm done. Stop recording.